My life story? Well, after I was born, and not 1 second before, my parents took me to see my grandpa and said to him, "Hey, we're going to name this baby after you." Yeah, it wasn't easy growing up with a name like Grandpa, but somehow I survived. Later, when I became old enough to walk, I didn't. But a few years after that, I did. And it was at this point that my entire family ditched me and moved to Cairo. It was rather an odd thing to do, I suppose, but apparently this was all part of some very funny joke my entire family had been planning behind my back since my birth. Pretty good one, huh? Afterward, I was all set to go to the local orphanage. But with my name being what it was, things got bureaucratically screwed up, and I ended up at Oak Hills, retirement home. I had a happy childhood there. Grew to like shuffleboard a lot. And I tried very hard to fit in. I remember at the age of 6 dyeing my hair white and having all my teeth extracted. Hey, call me a copycat, but I was at an impressionable age back then, and under quite a lot of peer pressure. Otherwise, I was a normal enough kid. I went to school, I played games, I ate my bicycle. I remember wanting to be a great astronomer when I grew up, just like my grandpa. One day, when he was back from Cairo, I talked to him about it. I said, "Grandpa?" And he said, "What, Grandpa?" And I said, "I'd like to be a great astronomer someday, just like you." And he said, "Well, that's fine, boy, just fine. But you just got to remember one thing." And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "Well, you know how celebrities always die in groups of 3? And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, astronomers always die in groups of 27. And I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah." 2 weeks later, a huge meteorite hit the observatory. My grandfather and 26 other astronomers died instantly. As a result, I've spent the rest of my life making damn sure I didn't become a goddamn astronomer. I miss my grandpa. That's why as a teenager I tried to make contact with him, even though he was dead. At the time I didn't have a Ouija board, so I tried using a boogie board instead. Didn't really work too well. Next I tried using a Scrabble board to contact my dead grandfather. That seemed to work a little better. I couldn't quite make out what my dead grandpa was trying to say on the Scrabble board, but he did keep getting triple word score. I finally made an appointment to see a psychic. I thought maybe she would be able to help me contact my dead grandpa. But unfortunately, she accidentally slit her wrist while trying to extend her lifeline. Jeez. You'd think a psychic would see something like that coming. My grandpa's ghost finally did visit me one day a few years back while I was in the shower. Unfortunately, I was getting ready for work at the time and kind of in a rush that day. This transparent image suddenly appeared beside me uttering, "I have something to tell you, I have something to tell you." I was in a hurry that day and just not in the mood. So I squirted half a tube of Aquafresh at him and he went away. Isn't fluoride great? So many uses. I've never quite figured out what my grandpa's ghost was trying to tell me that day in the shower. My cable bill went up the next day. Maybe that was it. So that's the story of my life. Is it a dream? Is it a reality? Some people will say it's a combination of both. That we actually spend our entire lives connecting and disconnecting dreams and reality. I don't listen to those people. Because those are probably the same people who say there's some sort of connection between the postal service and the people who deliver the mail. But I do know one thing. I'm just not sure what it is yet.